Time blocking can be hard, but the one thing that makes it impossible is when you forget to plan in your breaks in addition to all of your tasks. So today we are going to go over some of the science behind planning in your breaks, and I'm gonna show you how I do it when I time block. Thanks also to Akaflow for sponsoring this video, and let's get into it. So I'm looking at my schedule here. This is next week in my 9 to 5. Akaflow syncs with all my calendars from Gmail to Outlook to whatever else I'm using, and this green one here is my work one. And I have this week time blocked basically to the maximum. You can see I have a million meetings and also a bunch of stuff to do. It's gonna be a very, very busy week for me. Every hour, basically, besides a few pieces on Friday and Thursday, is time blocked to the maximum. So I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed looking at this. And this is because I have not planned in any breaks for myself. I have just focused on what I need to accomplish next week and not how I'm giving my body and myself some rest. And I know, breaks are essential. Everybody says that, but it's actually true. One study found that workers who take a lunch break every single day score higher on just about every metric related to job satisfaction. So taking a lunch break directly correlates with how much you actually like your job. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is plan in my lunch breaks. One thing I do when I time block is I plan in holds for how many meetings I anticipate will come up throughout the week. So I have about 5 hours dedicated to holds for meetings. So that means I can adjust these at will. So I'm gonna move some of these around and put my lunch breaks in their place. Now we have a little job satisfaction back. The next thing we want to do is give ourselves micro breaks throughout the day. Now, according to what I read, there's not really a good understanding of how long micro breaks should be. There's no optimal length. Anywhere from 40 seconds to 10 minutes has been tested. But what is clear is the more cognitively demanding the task, the more rest you need afterwards. So I'm looking at my calendar and I'm noticing that I have several meetings back to back on Monday. I mean, that is just an insane amount of meetings, even for my job. And I know for me, meetings are one of the most cognitively demanding tasks I do because I'm both listening, talking, taking notes, and doing real-time project planning during meetings. So I need a lot of breaks when I am in a lot of meetings. I've already planned in my lunch break down here below this huge chunk of meetings right here. And I am noticing that I put a hold up in here, anticipating that my 9:30 a.m. meeting will go long. So instead of putting this hold, anticipating that that's going to go long, I am going to move this hold down below my lunch so that if we go long in this project planning meeting, I can say, look, I need a break. We will resume later. And I already have a perfect spot for later planned in on my calendar. And instead in here, I'm going to build in a break. And I'm just gonna make this, like a 10-minute break. It doesn't have to be very long. Let's say 15 minutes. 15-minute break, perfect. Now I have this big chunk of meetings down here and I'm going to plan in another break. I have this task estimated at an hour, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't get it done in 45 minutes after I take a break. So you can see I have planned in little breaks here and there throughout the week in order to make sure that I don't go crazy. Now, say I wanted to plan out my breaks more thoroughly, for example. So let's say on this particular lunch, I'm gonna be in meetings all day almost, and I think, okay, what I really need is to get out of the office during this lunch, go on a walk, and pick myself up a special treat. Instead of having a lunch break in here as a calendar appointment, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is delete that and put in a time slot instead. So a time slot is basically a stack of tasks that you can input so that the tasks you are doing are all in one convenient block and not split out by like tiny little increments. So let me go ahead and write out lunch break as the name of the time slot. And then in the tasks, I'm gonna write 30-minute walk. And then I'm going to say grab food plus little treat. And then each of these become a task in and of themselves. So I'm gonna say grab food and a little treat is gonna happen at 1:30 after my 30-minute walk, which is gonna happen first. What's nice also is I can lock this into my calendar by pushing this little lock icon. So if I click lock into my calendar, it automatically adds it to my personal appointments, which is this blue calendar here. And you can see that's denoted by the blue line on the sidebar, and boom, I have my lunch break planned in with a few tasks of self-care I definitely want to get to on that lunch break. Time slots are really helpful for this, even though it's like, am I really planning things in on my break? Yes, science tells us that it is actually very helpful to know what you are doing when you are on a break. Because breaks where we are fully disconnected distracted from work are actually much more effective than breaks when we have one eye on our email or are sitting at our desk where we are working. So by planning in that I'm going to officially be away from my desk during my lunch break, I am taking a lot better care of myself. And there you have it. This week looks so much more reasonable, and I am so much less overwhelmed knowing that I'm taking care of myself by time blocking in my breaks. Thanks again to Akaflow for sponsoring this video. Check them out in the description box below if you want to learn more. By the way, this is one of the videos in my time blocking series, which I will leave on the screen next to my head just in case you want to keep on watching. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.